Okay,
Hi.
good. Here we go. So, you know, it's a big 22, big 44 if you want so.
Okay.
Same cyclic thing. It's a turbine, so the throttle is not going to move. Once it's full open, and we leave it there.
Okay.
So there's no manipulating the throttle kind of thing here in flight at all. Pretty straightforward. Altimeter, airspeed indicator. There's N1 and so rotor RPM and engine RPM essentially. The torque gauge is going to be our power limit, and then some engine gauges, oil temperature, oil pressure. This is a load meter from the generator, and then N1 is a gas producer, and that's the temperature in the engine. But we can talk about that later. But this is our limit right now.
Okay.
And you got essentially the green arc. So I'll say we got 80% torque we can use.
Oh, that's quite a lot.
Okay, that's a lot. With 2 people in here, it's like, yeah, not a problem. But yeah, about 80% torque, and we're going to be, I don't know, maybe 120 knots or so.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty straightforward as far as that goes. It's hydraulic, obviously, so there's not a lot of moving back and forth kind of thing. So
that's good.
Yeah. And no forces really on it. Okay, there's this. Okay, cool. All right. You ready?
Yeah, great.
Okay,
let's go.
Now when you roll on the throttle, slowly roll on the throttle and keep the torque around 40%. Okay, just cool, very good. Until it's all the way open. That's
okay.
normal, yeah, because RPM is going up. So all the way open to the stop.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Now, do you see the RPM here is on the low green or a little bit low, but that changes once we pick up.
Okay.
So that's very normal. So yeah, engine's running. RPM is full up. Okay, your controls.
My controls?
Your controls. Okay. Look good here. Let's turn this light on. Okay, good. All right, same procedure for pickup. Just, you know, keep your eyes outside
okay.
and start raising the collective, and yeah, we'll go from there. Good, there's some movement, good. Oops, yep, here we go, that's okay. All right, left pedal turn. Good. Gotta be watching out for that thing in the middle there, it's like a stupid obstacle. Okay, good. Now we're going to just go forward to that circle there. It's really not that windy, so.
Nope, that's just me.
Downtown traffic helicopter, CC9 Kilo Bravo, taking off from the heliport northbound downtown traffic. Okay, we're taking off to the left.
Okay.
Right side's clear. Alright, good. So for 5-minute takeoff, we actually have 100% torque, but let's try to keep it at 80%.
Okay. So.
Okay, good. Alright. Let's get some more airspeed here. We got no obstacle in front of us. Very cool. So we don't even use 70% here, so it has lots of power with 2 people in here and just a little bit over half a tank of fuel. So okay, let's stay over the river.
Okay.
Because on the other side of the river is where Charlie Airspace starts.
I've been here like on the 31st of December last year on my night flight.
Okay.
But that was the only experience I have with the heliport.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's Interstate 405 here.
Yeah.
And there's I-5 on the right side going up north towards Vancouver. Like traffic jam without end. Crazy. Cool. How far are you? Do you have a private jet? Or?
Yeah, I'm on IFR.
Okay, cool. Nice.
I'm about to hit my IFR stage 2 check.
Okay, cool.
So we might be flying together soon again.
Here we go. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, this thing is this is an Aspen 1000 glass cockpit. It's pretty similar to a Garmin 500, but yeah. You can close that. We have an AC in here, so
okay.
if it's too hot, I can turn the AC on.
Just the water spraying in.
Yeah. Yep. I got some rain cells moving around, so. Right, let's stay over the river until basically the St. John's Bridge, which is the big bridge over there, and then we can cut corners and go. Good. Yeah, this is the north side. The north side of downtown, northeast Portland here. Lots of industrial stuff and West Hills. So this is the short loop is now we're gonna turn around and do a little loop over downtown and come back. So for the 6 minutes tours we do sometimes. It's like
6 minutes, wow.
Yep, that's point one.
And then you do just hot loads and goes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually we have a loader then and...
Oh yeah, Juan.
Yeah, Juan, or there's another one actually. Oh, there's a cruise ship, like an old cruise ship. Yeah, interesting. Oh, in a dry dock. Yeah, Juan and another one. And yeah, then we do hot loadings because for 6 minutes you can't really shut down every time.
That makes sense. Yeah. Costs way too much time.
Yeah, it costs too much time. And in the 44, it's actually the time still, but in the 66 is even worse because the turbine doesn't like startups.
Okay.
It's very hard on the engine to do starts, and they actually count them.
You have like a cool down time, right?
It's a 2-minute cool down time before you can shut down, and then the temperature needs to be below 150 before you can actually start up again. And then there are like they call it cycle counts. So every time we start the engine, it is one cycle.
Okay.
And a cycle is a limiting factor on the engine.
Oh, I see.
Right. So there's the overhaul time.
Yeah.
Like in the Lycomings, in this case it's 2,000 hours, but it's 2,000 hours or 3,000 cycles, whichever comes first.
Okay. And if you do tours and you shut down all the time.
Every 6 minutes, then you have a problem.
Yeah. Wow. This flies amazing.
That's kind of interesting. That ship there, it's a car carrier.
Yeah.
And all these cars in these parking lots, they're brand new.
Wow.
They ship them here from Asia.
Okay.
And then they unload them here, and they sit here until they distribute them to the dealerships.
Oh wow.
Yep. All right, cool. So we are actually pretty clear. So let's head north more.
Okay.
Oh, so that's the confluence. There's the Willamette River and the Columbia River. This is actually a park here on the corner. There's another one of those car parking lots, new car parking lots. Lake Vancouver on the other side, and then obviously Olympia and Scappose is over there.
Alpha traffic, Kayak 250, 10 miles north, inbound 2000 Delta.
I kind of remember the water, but under the hood you never see anything.
Yep.
0 miles west of the field, 2,000 feet over the river, inbound Kelso. We're looking for that inbound traffic. Final 33, touch and go, Scappose.
Oh, so yeah, there's some big ships anchored.
Yeah. Amazing.
Waiting for, I don't know, loading or unloading, I don't know.
It seems like loading. It's fairly high up in the water.
True. Yeah, it looks like it's empty. Yeah. Oh. Good. All right. So let's use a little bit more here. Let's go like 70, 75, 80 and see how much speed we can get out of that.
Okay.
So when you fly commercially, that's usually what is expected. You know, what's your max continuous power?
Okay.
That's what you're going to use. And whatever airspeed you get out of that, what you're going to fly.
Okay. Makes sense. I mean, time is money, right?
Time is money. Yep, absolutely. This case is even your money.
True.
So.
Bit of rain coming through.
Yep, there's some rain cells moving around. Well, it's just
I mean, this aircraft is equipped with anti-ice, what I've seen.
Yeah, it has anti-ice and it's rain, right?
Yeah, true.
Aircraft is approved to fly in rain. It's just what I saw so far was just small cells with some light rain, so really not a problem.
Yeah, should be fine.
All right. That is your ball. The
Okay.
little line underneath the triangle. So step on the left a little bit. Here we go. Awesome. That feels better already.
The traffic Cessna 7932 Golf is 6 miles west of field, 1,700 descending, maneuvering 45 entry, left downwind. Also looking for that other inbound traffic, Kelso.
Let's cancel.
Kelso traffic, Skyhawk 250, 3 miles north of the field.
You can see Scappose over there. There's some white hangers.
Oh yeah, I see
That's
them
the field. Battleground is here to the right side, so we're kind of...
Oh yeah, so this is always where we come over for the VORD Alpha.
Correct. So right over the river is about 4 miles. Yep. It's pretty close to the final approach fix IOTA.
Scappose traffic 85 hotels in the downwind for 33. We'll be departing pattern to the southeast off the downwind leg, Scappose.
Scappose air traffic helicopter 339 Kilo Bravo is 4 miles east, 1,500 along the river northbound, Scappose traffic. Just in case somebody is flying the VOR.
Scappose traffic, Cessna 55 Lima is on a 5-mile final, localizer 15 low approach.
This is the standard stuff, so attitude indicator, airspeed left, altitude right. The little tiny pink arc there is your VSI.
Okay.
Over midfield,
Interesting.
Kind of weird.
Down the river and come back for a straight in.
Steam gauges are easier to read.
Yeah, I agree.
When you know how to.
Yeah.
Golf on the left downwind 30. We've got the crossing traffic in sight and still looking for that final traffic. Kelso.
Oh, so when you have a turbine engine like this one, this is a Rolls-Royce 300, the RR 300. It's called as that because it produces 300 horsepower.
Okay.
Quite simple.
Yeah. Although it's derated, but anyway, turbine engines in general have 3 limitations. Number 1 is the gas producer. So when you look at a turbine engine, at the front of the engine is a wheel, like a turbine wheel with all these little things, and it compresses air.
Okay.
Right, and it spins very fast, and so it presses air into the engine, and that air is then used for A, burning the fuel, and B, cooling down the engine.
Okay.
Now that first turbine wheel, this N, they call it N1 because it's the first wheel in a whole stack of wheels. That could be the limit because it can only spin so fast. It can only produce so much air pressure. It's limited at some point.
Okay.
And that is what they call N1, and that is this gauge. And it shows percentage of RPM. So we got like 105 max,
Okay.
105%, which doesn't tell us anything about the actual RPM, and it doesn't matter. But the actual RPM is somewhere in the range of 55,000 RPM.
Wow. Okay.
So we're talking fast spin.
Very fast.
That becomes sometimes the limiting factor if you go up very high in altitude or you have a very high DA, very thin air.
Yeah.
So then the N1 needs to work very hard to get enough air in. And that could be the limiting factor in that case.
Okay.
Then that air is pushed in, compressed, and it is blown into the burn chamber. And at the same time, there's the fuel nozzles are spraying in the fuel, and we have a continuous burn in that burn chamber. It's not like a piston going up and down, or so. It's like there's a fireball, and it's just burning. And permanently, air and fuel is sprayed into that burn chamber.
2-mile extended space for right traffic.
And then that burn chamber has a temperature limit, obviously, and that is what they call, in this case, MGT, measured gas temperature.
Okay.
Every manufacturer calls this different, unfortunately, but it's always boiling down to the temperature in the engine.
Okay.
Could be turbine outlet temperature, TOT, bell. Could be...
that's, I think, what it is on the EC135. I've seen that before.
Yeah,
display.
that could be. Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. TOT. Or on the EC130, on the A-Star, they call it T4.
Okay.
On the Leonardo Augusta Westland, they call it ITT, inter-turbine temperature.
Great.
Yeah, so I don't know why, but they can't agree on what to call it. So Robinson calls it MGT, and some other manufacturers. So, but anyway, bottom line is, that's the temperature in degrees Celsius in the engine.
Okay.
And that could be a limiting factor. If it's getting too hot, then obviously that's a problem. And the third one is the engine torque. So how much force, spinning force, are we requiring the engine to do to keep the rotor spinning? And that is mostly the limiting factor in most aircraft.
Okay.
Or in most situations, I should say. That's Kelso.
Yeah. With the 22, you plan your flight and you're like, wow, that's so far to Kelso. And now it's like,
Right.
okay, there we are.
Here we are. Yeah. Yep. No big deal. All right, so those are the three things you always run into when you run into a turbine engine. You know, N1, temperature, and torque. And depending on the engine, depending on the situation, any of those might be a limiting factor. Airbus has a system, they call it the first limit indicator. They have like a glass cockpit thing, and they have it shows like 1 to 10.
Okay.
Without unit. And they automatically show you whatever the limiting factor is.
Is that related to the FADEC? Or what it's called in Airbus?
No, they do have FADEC as well,
yeah.
But it's not
okay.
not the same thing, or it doesn't depend on it. Yeah. But that's a pretty convenient thing. So you see your limit. It's like, okay, well, I have 9, whatever that means. Who cares, right? That's my limit. Anyway. Oh yeah, and then the whole measuring and the whole, the usual term they use is governing, but don't get that mixed up with a governor in a 22 or 44. It's a different thing. So what happens is when you raise the collective, same thing as in any other helicopter, you increase the pitch, yeah, more lift, more drag, which means the RPM would go down unless we're producing more force from the engine. Okay. So what the turbine does, or not the turbine itself, the governing unit does, is it measures all these RPMs and some other things like where the collective actually is, and so. And a lot of this data goes into that governing unit, and when it senses that you're asking for more power, then it actually introduces more fuel.
Okay.
That's the bottom line. So it sprays more fuel into the engine, which means it's running hotter, because it doesn't change what the N1 does.
Okay.
Initially. And but yeah, when you lower the collective, it just takes away some of the fuel, and that's how it maintains the RPM stable. Now that fireball that in there creates that super hot air. That super hot air goes again through a turbine wheel and makes that turbine wheel spin. And that turbine wheel is called N2, and that's what you see here.
Okay.
That's the wheel which actually spins then eventually the water system.
Okay.
And that's what we're going to keep constant, right? Because we want to keep the water system constant. Yeah. That thing spins in here in this engine at roughly about 30,000 RPM.
Oh.
Yeah. And then the hot air goes through that N2 wheel, cools down a little bit, slows down a little bit, and then it goes to another wheel, and that turbine wheel is connected to the N1 at the front of the engine. So it actually produces its own gas.
Traffic not available.
And that makes this thing keep running by itself, essentially self-sustained once it is running. So that it does mean if we burn more fuel, we have more heat in the engine, we have more torque on the main rotor system, but we also have the N1 wheel spinning faster, getting more air in, which is what we need.
Okay.
It's like, kind of confusing,
it's like a consistent cycle.
Yeah, it's a closed circle.
Closed system,
yeah. Closed system. And it explains why a turbine likes to be run constant.
Okay.
Turbines don't like power changes. They don't like big temperature changes. The best you can do with the turbine is run it as an exact same speed all the time, and these things run forever.
Okay.
Every time we shut it down or start it up, it puts a lot of strain on the material. That's why they count these cycles.
Okay. So like in EMS operation, there's quite a lot of stress on the turbines because they fly like for 6 minutes, then shut down again.
Yep.
Then fly for 3 minutes.
Yep.
Shut down again.
Yep. That's a problem.
Okay.
Yep. That's a problem. Actually, now we're going to fly basically over Chehalis. That, you see at the airport there?
Ah, okay.
That's Toledo.
Toledo.
Yep.
Okay.
So there's I-5 there.
Yeah.
If you follow I-5, Toledo is on the right side there. There's some, occasionally some parachute operations here. So you hear, sometimes you hear people like Toledo traffic or whatever, jump us away, so that kind of stuff. And if you follow I-5, pretty much straight ahead, there's a city, that's Chehalis.
Okay.
So that's where people sometimes go on night flights or solo cross countries or
solo
whatever.
cross countries a lot, yeah. Yep.
So you see that open field there?
Yep.
That's Olympia Airport.
Okay.
At 4 o'clock. Yep. We can actually, let's land there, and
Okay.
we're going to take some fuel.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Sounds good.
yeah.
Just on a little bit low. Quarter. So do you have like, I read that we have different options on the 66. Do you have one with an aux tank or
No,
just a
no, just a main tank.
Expect VOR approach runway 35 in use. Caution for bird and coyote activity on the airport. Advise on this contact. You have information Alpha.
Alpha and 3-5.
Angel 3-1, traffic land 26, short final. You can start your base now. Angel 3-1 base.
Olympia Tower, helicopter 339 Kilo Bravo, 6 Southwest Alpha.
Look up to 3390 Bravo, Olympia Tower.
Helicopter 339 Kilo Bravo is inbound for some fuel. We can use 26 or 35, your choice.
Look up there, 9 Kilo Bravo, make straight and approach, runway 35, report a 3-mile final, winds calm, altimeter is 2998.
2998 and straight in 35, report a 3-mile final, 9 Kilo Bravo.
Oh, look, 90 Charlie.
Okay, you see 35 there?
Charlie,
yes.
And taxi to safety in motion via Foxtrot, monitor ground point 6. 90 Charlie, right on Fox, going to safety motion, ground point 6, thanks.
We can make it pretty much a long landing because the FBO is on the east side.
Okay.
Yep.
Oi.
Yep, get a little bumpy here.
Turbulence here.
Yep, pretty dark cloud.
Yep. Automatically.
Yep, good, good. If you want to call him, it's 3-mile final, 3-5.
9 Kilo Bravo. 9 Kilo Bravo, 3-mile final, 3-5.
Helicopter 9 Kilo Delta, runway 35, clear to land.
Runway 35, clear to land, helicopter 9 Kilo Bravo.
9 Kilo Bravo, say your destination on the field.
9 Kilo Bravo, we will need some fuel, so we need to go to a FBO.
9 Kilo Bravo, roger. Make a long landing, and once you get down, I'll point out the different places you can go.
Roger, long landing on 3-5, 9 Kilo Bravo. Okay, cool.
Olympia Tower, Angel 3-1,
What's your
taxi, Northwest Helicopter.
white pedal?
Angel 3-1,
there we go.
is approved.
Okay, let's go all the way to the south foot markers on the other side.
Okay.
No delay, Angel 3-1.
Traffic not available.
Helicopter 9 Kilo Bravo, I'll have a Hughes 500 crossing upfield.
Got the 500 inside, 9 Kilo Bravo. On the left side, taken off there.
Yeah.
This is 54073, Olympia ground, runway 35, taxi via Echo, Foxtrot, cross runway 26 out Foxtrot. Cessna 073, say direction of flight. This is 073, roger. Got one check. Wind's calm. Yeah, helicopter 9 Kilo Bravo. We have two FBOs. Glacier Aviation is just ahead and to your right. They have the hangar door about halfway open. You can go there or down where that Cessna's taxiing, safety in motion. You can go to either one of those places for fuel.
Roger, helicopter 9 Kilo Bravo, and do you mind if I cross over the grass here, or you want me to use the taxiways?
You can pass over the grass.
Thank you, sir. Let's go over there.
You can go to whichever place you would like at Windsor 14087.
14087, thank you, sir. Let's go to that one back there.
Okay. Olympia Tower helicopter 833.
Because they're, I looked it up, they're like 40 cents a gallon cheaper.
Oh, okay.
Helicopter 8332 Tango. Olympia Tower air taxi to Glacier's approved, cross both runways, and the wind's starting to pick up out of the south, 15008. Air taxi across both runways, 8332 Tango. Cessna 073 ground. Roger, I think due to this rain out to the south,
should we hold here for that airplane?
To pick up out of the south, so I'm going to take you.
Let's go over to the taxiway.
17. So if you would just
see what he's
pull
doing.
out on the runway 8 and make a 180 and then taxi to runway 17 via Foxtrot and Charlie, and it'll be an intersection departure from Charlie.
Okay, let's go past him and then left.
Okay.
Olympia Tower helicopter 8322 Tango.
Oh, there's a heliport. Actually, they put an H.
Yes, yep.
See that?
The winds are picking up pretty good. They're 170 at 20 right now.
Oh. Yeah, that's what we encountered. Okay, let's stay here. Okay. Oops. You okay? Let's not get too close to that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, a little more forward. Okay. There we go. All right. Okay.
A bit more to your side?
Yep, sure. All right.
Let's see how we get
Close enough.
down.
Tomahawk 2590 Charlie Olympia ground. In the process to change the runways, runway 17 taxi via KOLM Bravo.
All right, good. Now you can roll down the throttle all the way. Just. Okay, cool. Friction's on, landing lights off. All right. Collective's down, friction's on, throttle is closed, cycling neutral. Okay, cooldown is 2 minutes, and then we can just cut off the fuel there.
Okay.
And at that point, when you cut off the fuel, that's the only time you can actually see a little bit of a split. That's where we actually do the spec touch check here at 1 zone.